Hey, morning, New Yorkers. Good afternoon, London. We're 10 minutes away from the NY Open, and we're focusing, as always, on the US 30, SP 500, and NAS 100. So, welcome to the Mohawk Forex scalping team. And yeah, we just had a nice cheeky little win on the US 30, which I don't usually trade before the NY Open, but I saw this little drop. RSI just broke for our neutral, nipped in, grabbed myself $30. That will do. Obviously, it's been a nice bull run all afternoon. Morning, sorry, in London session. And now we're looking for some kind of pullback correction, but obviously we're just going to wait and see which way it's going to go. It's going to break this resistance and carry on up, or we're going to get a pullback into our breakout zone here, as you can see in our daily neutral support. Then in 30 minutes after the open, we've got the existing home sales news for March, which again we will trade once we see the result and see which way the RSI goes on it. So yeah, that's the main news for today. So we'll see how we get on. We've already scalped DAX today. As you can see, we grabbed the Euro Open and we had the London Open. I made the direction there. We managed to do some trades also successfully on that. Just a couple of small losses, so well up already today. Check-in, in fact, we had one break even, 2 losses, and we've had 20 trades so far. Like I said, I just got those 2 on the US 30. Not something I usually trade, but if the setup's there, I will trade it. Don't miss out on the opportunity. But you just got to get in and out each time when it's just before the open. So we've got Bloomberg on. We're listening what they're on about as well, and say we just got a nice easy scalping time here with the news. We've got 9 minutes to go till the open. Wait and see which way the RSI goes. We're going to drop, in which we'll go for the sales, or if it's going to break this resistance, and look for the buys. So we're on IC markets. Our leverage is 1 to 200. Again, we're starting with a $3,000 account. As always, any profit take from that we bank, and we go back and restart that every day. That's kind of how I do it. Differently, that's how I do it. And yeah, let's see how we get on.
Laurie, what's your take on this?
I actually agree with Mike on this. We did a survey a few weeks ago, and we found about half of the investors in our survey didn't trust the Fed and thought there was a risk that they were going to go too far. And I think that's why, some of these defensive sectors have been lifting, despite the fact that they really shouldn't. There's really no other reason than recession fears building that things like
say the overall news today.
And I think that we are going to
been mostly about Netflix, obviously, and the NAS futures obviously have dropped because of it. Tesla earnings as well. There's Disney. There's a lot of stocks which, if you trade in the NAS, even on the 3 minutes, you can see it's, to us, it's actually gone up. Pull back at the moment. Same kind of setup. Watching on RSI. Again, this could be a potential sell. I wouldn't enter any trades right now, just in case you're caught, because you've got 6 minutes to open. If you want to trade the NAS, fine. If you've got a small account, then obviously you want to trade in the SP 500. $42 billion. Crazy. What Netflix is going to lose.
The market looking for 2.5 million subs. It got negative 200k. For last quarter. For this quarter, looking for
that's SP 500, US 500 trading view for guys with smaller accounts, $50. If you want to practice trading scalping indices, this is the one to practice on.
You've got a major problem, and that's what we've got in the equity market this morning, with Netflix down by almost 30% now. New York.
But it really is going to push NAS. But if we're going to get this drop on the open. But I say I'm going on the US 30 anyway, because I've been following it all day. Ready, I'm loaded. See what the indexes are saying.
SpiceJet 737 MAX aircraft. SpiceJet Chairman Ajay Singh earlier today said that Boeing is going to compensate SpiceJet in form of cash and aircraft. There's a big celebration happening at the Gwalior airport. As you can see, they've literally rolled down the red carpet for SpiceJet Chairman Ajay Singh. There are balloons, there are flowers. This is a big deal for SpiceJet because it is the only Indian operator of Boeing 737 MAX planes currently.
Five minutes away from the opening bell in New York this morning. Good morning. Trying to build on the gains of yesterday. We're doing okay on the S&P, up a third of 1%. On the Nasdaq too, up a third of 1% also, even with that big move lower in Netflix, which we'll be hitting on through the day right here on Bloomberg. Switch up the board and get to the bond market. 2s, 10s and 30s. This curve just a little bit flatter this morning. Yields lower at the long end by 6 basis points on a 10-year to about 287, 288. That's the price action here. The morning calls. First up, Barclays upgrading Avis budget to equal weight, growing more constructive on the car rental space amid persistent inflation. That stock is up by 2.3%.
3 minutes to go.
KeyBank cutting its alphabet price target to a street low 30.75, expecting
See
a challenging quarter with macro pressure.
what we're going to get.
Advertising budgets. And finally, B of A downgrading Netflix. They're not alone, cutting shares
Wow.
by 2 notches after reporting subscriber losses for the first time since 2011. Up next, much more on that story. Netflix poised to become the year's worst performer in both the S&P and Nasdaq 100.
Wow.
Then on the bond market with Bob Michael of JP Morgan.
I hope you know how to short. Let's see what it does to US 30. Like I say, it's you know, it looks like it's pushing up. I put my arrow there that wasn't indicative of what I thought the open was going to be, by the way, so don't think that's going to be a sell. I'm just getting ready. The last 3-minute candle now, and we're off. Is it going to be a buy? Is it going to be a sell? It really matter to us. We just go with the trend. And like I say, we've got 280 points to the top side to hit our trend line. That's where you want to be getting out. And then if it's a sell, so it finishes here, then we're talking 500 to the downside. So, you know, I'd rather it be a sell because there's more to play with till it hits our level here, then bounces up again. Remember, that's why we use the grid system on our axe trading system, because it tells us where to get out, because people don't know when to get out. When it's a flash in and out, you don't know your levels. So this tells us that's where I'm going to be getting out the trade. If it's a sell, that's where I'm going to be getting out. If it's a buy, if I don't get out beforehand. Once I see the green, you guys know that's how I get out. You know, take the money. Like I say, US 30 has been on a real tasty bull run. Doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be a correction straight away. There could be market manipulation, there could be a boost up, a drop down. Nobody knows. That's why use our price action and RSI and a little bit of insight with the fundamentals and the news to give us an idea of what might happen. And then enter. It's all down on the broker. Say IC Markets is pretty good for execution.
If we want to have successful human missions to Mars, we are going to have to learn to live and work off-world in a different way. The place where we are going to learn to do that is on the moon.
And here we go. 1 minute to go. Get ready, everybody. Good luck.
Next giant leap.
Lots happening on Wall Street.
The basic law of economics.
See what we can get.
What the market was already pricing.
Need to catch up?
This is Bloomberg Wall Street Week. I'm David Weston.
We've got the information and insights
David, you just hit the nail right on the head.
from businesses most influential and instrumental.
And that's the way you run good risk management. It's a challenging dynamic.
We could continue to see that kind of strength.
Bloomberg Wall Street Week premieres Friday with
Goes through that 78.
on Bloomberg Television and Radio.
Crypto, you have a world of young people.
Close one, we just got $100 there.
Financial system,
Back,
culture. And
drop.
it is very powerful. And
They go again.
believer in it.
All that wick.
I think that it's hard to put your head around any narrative. Let's just be honest. We've had sort of a shift
$100 straight away on that first trade. Fantastic. Well done, everybody. On that pull up, really nice. RSI 79, pumping again. Back into the green we go. So remember the stream on
I believe it's actually Wednesday, isn't it? I'm lost already. Futures are positive by 0.4% on
stream on YouTube. Obviously lags.
Positive by 0.7.
Pleased with that. One trade. I managed to get in on that already. Let's pull back now. Let's see if this wick's going to fill. We'll get in again.
On 10s. We come back a little bit after having a little look at 3% on 10s and also
Beautiful push up.
yield. In the FX market, one policymaker at the ECB talking up a rate hike in July. We'll see. Euro dollar 108.37 up a half of 1% there. Crude up 0.6%.
Doing out. Yes, there we go. Hey, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 trades away there. Perfect. Pretty good. I'm happy with that. You have to be greedy. We got £50, £4, £36, £2 and £18. So we got 70, 100. We got about $125 there.
They shuttered their business because of the war in Ukraine. That meant a net loss of 300,000 users in the
Now, obviously, look, we're approaching that 85 zone, so watch out for reversals. And we're at the points of interest line. Look, the resistance. But this is where, that's why I got out of those trades. I didn't hang around. This wick could fill. Also, we could get a drop now. Let's have a look. 83, remember, the danger zone. Is this going to push up a bit more? It looks like it is. There's a bit of momentum. Building upon that. Going to be a sell. RSI 83 looks high. Got 30 seconds left on this candle. Fingers on the trigger. Let's see. Don't go entering sells yet, obviously. You know, you want to see a curl down in the RSI. We'll go with the direction.
This trend will reverberate through the streaming sector. You see Disney down 4%. Going to be really interesting.
Going to push up on the next one.
In a couple of weeks' time.
16 seconds.
Look at this terminal chart. We have dropped a long way from the peaks of 2021 on this basket of streaming companies, right? The narrative has changed.
See if we can get another
this growth
up.
is no longer volumes. And if you read across the analyst notes this Wednesday morning, they talk about household penetration. In other words, Netflix has high household penetration. The addressable market, the room to grow.
Brilliant. Got another 2 buys there. We went on that. We got 22 and 15, so we got $37, $50. And that, my friends, will do. Again, don't be greedy. You know, let's wait for a reversal now.
Relative drops of some mega caps. $42 billion
It's an easy one.
We started the show by talking about how we were higher on NASDAQ 100 futures. The market relatively sanguine. You do wonder, though, if you look at this and think, what's going on?
Perfect.
Of this earnings season?
I hope some of the team managed to grab some as well. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 trades, 7 winners there.
That stock is down by 59% and some. Down right now by 30 percentage points. On the year, we've lost almost $160 billion in market cap. We've had a massive move, and it's not just an earnings story. There's a valuation story, a multiple story, and you've got to look to.
As you can see,
very briefly, positive real yields on a 10-year. Let's get to Candy Nights.
And we're just waiting to see the RSI. Look, this is where I wait for reversals now. Don't enter anything yet, obviously. Like I say, you wait for it to curl down for the drop, like it did here. And even then, look, it was only a quick sell before the market reversed again. So be careful, very careful. Always dangerous trading reversals if they're not true ones. The market's very bullish. US 500 was exactly the same for you guys with a smaller account. Look, you should have got in on the buy on that. And now, why is this dropped? Because look what we're showing, heavy resistance. It should have been a quick buy, and then you get straight out because you're on that heavy resistance, and now it's dropping. But it was a buy on the open. there was your entry point. This top of this candle here went up, bang. It was a nice buy. Now it's going to be a sell, most likely on SP 500.
From investment grade to high yield, it is all down on the year, but actually investment grade has been underperforming, showing it's not so much a story about quality as it is about duration, and that is evidenced by bonds that have 10-year plus maturities down nearly 20%.
Now on heavy resistance, watch out.
Targeting a move to 225. Mark Cabana and the team over at B of A looking at this. We believe today's 10-year rate offers an attractive level to buy.
Now let's have a look at NAS. Yeah, NAS was the sell. There you go. NAS, as we suspected with all the news, was a sell on IO. So again, you just pick whichever one. I mean, at the end of the day, whichever one you can follow. You don't have to be greedy and enter on all of them. You know, I've done that before and you can easily get burnt. But that was a nice, easy sell again on NAS. Look at that. And at the moment, that is looking at 300. But again, it's approaching the neutral support. Wait till it breaks this level here. Then you can go again. Won't be entering any trades. You're coming down to that 15 level where you're looking for reversals.
In 10-year yield since the start of the year. So finally, after a couple of years, we're getting the bond market to the right pricing. Frankly, I thought we would have had more repricing at the end of last year. Looks like we saved it all up for this year.
Bob, how do you judge that 3+ on
Go back to 30 then. I'm focusing on that. It's pushing up higher, look.
How do you make that judgment?
Well, you don't do any, I'm not taking any buys at the moment. I'm not taking any sells. Well, high up, we're 87 on the RSI. Bullish and falling is that's what Andrew is saying. So dashboard, going to wait. That was a beautiful open. I mean, I wish it was like this all the time, but yeah, it's so high. The RSI now, we want to be waiting for sells. That's what I'm waiting for. Assuming it's going to happen now. It will. Or is a correction?
So they've got a battle royal on their hands, and I think they're going to really press, and the market will take comfort that we have a serious Fed looking to rein in inflation.
And remember, we've got the news coming up. Well, in 20 minutes, existing home sales. Again, hopefully these results will be the same, should be, and then we'll enter a trade based on the RSI as well. So yeah, nice easy scalping so far. Well pleased with that today. Solid open.
In Japan, for sure, they want to get through Golden Week, but let's see what happens at the end of the second quarter when they're beyond Golden Week, if they're still supporting 25 basis points at the 10-year.
You think they back away from that yield curve control?
32 trades taken today, 32 positions, and we're talking 2 losses and 1 break even. I managed to get out at 0, just barely. It was in profit and dropped back quick. But 32 positions, and with this way, we're nearly, actually, we're getting on for 20% return on investment, so we're pretty happy with that. Kind of stress-free, which I wish it was always like this.
This time around, you're quite constructive on credit. Can you reconcile those things for us, Bob?
Yeah, emotion tells you to hate credit. It's in free fall, but you have to appreciate the repricing that's happened. There's been a tremendous backup in yields. There's been tremendous de-risking. That combination of wider credit spreads and higher yields means you're not buying high yield below 5% anymore. You're buying
RSI is just starting to curl, but we'll watch. You know, we're going to trade the news. 20 minutes, and that'll be it. Just a quick stream again, because I just want to show you what you can do in, you know, under 30 minutes, 40 minutes of trading. That's all you got to do. I did 30 minutes on DAX this morning, and we'll do 30 minutes now on US. That's it. That's your day done. And it doesn't really matter, like I say, the account size, because the account size will come as you put money into your account, trading account, or compound it, whichever way you want to do it. The idea is to get into that routine of just trading for a certain period of time, and if you're winning just $5 in that period, or 50 cents, that doesn't matter. That can be 5,000 in 6 months time, or a year's time, or whatever. It's just getting that systematic approach where you trade in the same times every day, getting up out of bed or whatever you have to do, trading for the same period of time. If you lose in that period, you lose. You don't stay on and try and win it back. You just focus on that period and then get out the game, wait for the next session to open, do the same thing again, and every day repeat. That's the best way to approach it.
So I don't see a recession this year. I think the market's a little panicked. I'd rather take advantage of the repricing and credit.
We didn't have a recession in the back end of 2018 either. What we had was QT. And Bob, are you comfortable with QT and balance sheet reduction, given the size of QT we could get into year end and through next year too?
Whoa there, partner. I don't think QT had anything to do with the recession. I think if you go back to 2015 to 2018, the Fed played it as well as anyone could have played it. I think what caused the recession, and we've gone back and poured through our notes and our minutes of our various meetings, was the trade war. And in fact, the economy was doing so well, it created capacity for the administration to ramp up the trade war.
Well, just to be clear, just to jump in and clarify what I'm trying to
say. A nice pullback look, nice. It's down on US 30. What we could be waiting for.
I'm saying that's absolutely not the case. I'm saying it was the trade war that raised the prospect of recession and caused a complete repricing of credit.
It's done. There you go. What was that? 10 seconds. I got 26.80, so 53 pounds, which is about $70. There you go.
I think so. I think they're the
bang.
best club in football
Done.
right now.
Again, another. There's your first sales.
Your football club, Bob. Great to catch up with a different view on late 2018 and December 2018 when the credit market really fell apart. Falling apart right now is Netflix stock. That stock is down by 32%, coming up, shedding subscribers when we were looking for something north of 2 million.
So when I'm trading reversals, when it's an initial or not, obviously you shouldn't be taking a sell until we're broken to neutral and red. Obviously these are just quick corrections. You just got to get in and out. Don't be greedy. Bear break. There's a signal on NAS 100. Let's have a look. NAS is smashing down RSI's 12. Look at that. NAS is pushing down. The RSI is really low. Is it going to go lower? Might well do. All this news that's around.
Front row, exclusive interviews with the most influential figures in finance. Lloyd Blankfein.
Deflation is a terrible thing. Inflation you could tolerate.
Kathy Wood.
We're out, we're done. Yes, we're in. We're in on the sale and we're out on the sale on NAS. What do we get? We got 21 and 12, so we got £32. Hey, about $50 there. There you go, very nice. Quick scalp again, no messing around. Saw that signal, saw that little gap, went for the gap. We're in. That's what I'm talking about. That's true scalping. I saw that gap, could measure the gap. I knew there was kind of like between 5 and 10 pips. Look, that will do nicely. I'll wait for the reversal now. We're going to wait. But this, I mean, the thing is, you could be waiting a long time with the drop. It's had such a bull run, and now with all this news about Netflix, this could come all the way down to the heavy support. So this could be all the way down to here. There was some corrections along the way, so watch out for that. If those of you traded, I wanted to get 2 trades on NAS, done it. That's broke up by DAX and US 30, so quite nicely. And now we are well over 20% for the day from a 3,000 start, so that's pretty good. Now we're just going to trade this news. $50 minutes to go. Home sales for March. They thought higher than expected figure should be positive dollar. Lower should be bearish. You see. So no, nothing hidden. It's nice and easy. Like I say, again, doesn't always go that way, but most of the time it will do if the result is decent enough. 5 to 10% difference from what has been expected. And again, just use the RSI as your onion. Give you that move positive. There's the drop on US 30. Look, very nice. Back into the zone. Wait and see if this plays out.
I know it's disappointing for investors, and it is for sure. It's just a softer seasonal quarter.
We just went in there again. Yay, you've got 2 more sales. What do we get? 28 and 14. So 30, 42. So that's about $60 there. There you go. And that was what, 5 seconds? Again, I could have held this to come down, but I know this zone, this neutral support zone, I've been burnt so many times. We know it can bounce off this, reverse. Just take the green. Don't be greedy. That's what true scalping is about. Whether it's 50 cents, $1, $100, doesn't really matter. Green is green. Get into the habit of winning consistently, and that's why I'm doing 36 trades. Ooh, over trading. Scary, sorry. You know what I mean? It's not. This is the art.
12-month average analyst price target. And I guess the question is like the direction of travel, the growth story that the
more sales
is very
US
different to what I've
30.
been listening to in prior quarters.
I'll wait for news. That's it.
Changes there. The growth is coming in emerging markets. I think your next guest coming up has a real focus on revenue per user and where that growth comes from going forward. But the big word that we got was advertising. In July of 2019,
that was a nice little grey candle into that neutral zone, which we know can be dangerous. So get in, get out. Now it's on this level. It could bounce back up to form a double top, or it could break, and then we can go down into our breakout zone. We see here, look, the dotted green and the dotted red is our breakout zone. So we'll take a sell if it goes red, but at the moment I'm waiting. We're 10 minutes away from the news. There's no panic. There's always more sells to come.
Fundamental U-turn in strategy of ads, a U-turn in the stock, and a lot of analysts also still talking about content. There's no big hit that you and I are talking about right now that keeps me focused on this platform. And to protect margins, the big take for me on the call, you have to protect shareholder interest, right? To protect margins, they're also going to phase down spending on content going forward.
Ed, thank you, sir. We've got to spend some more time on this. Moffett-Nathanson kind of gets Netflix price target down to 245, saying the following. We've witnessed the company go from growth to growth purgatory in an instant. Yet the question from here is whether the company has gotten cheap enough for new investors to step in and buy. Their words, we would argue, not yet. Michael Nathanson joins us now for more. Michael, we've got so much to discuss, buddy. What on earth happened here? How was the market at 2.5 million and they're at negative 200K, and even worse for the quarter we're in?
John, it's mind-boggling. We always had our doubts, right? But the question is about price elasticity. It's about competition. It's about maybe the consumer being a bit tapped out, besides what you just heard before from JPM. There are a lot of factors here, but just the company's unwillingness to kind of address some of the issues they addressed in the call yesterday. I mean, this could have been done a year ago, 2 years ago, just kind of preparing people for this pivot that they hit a point of maturation. They need to have a different strategy, right? It's all feels so sudden, like they didn't see it coming.
There it is, look, on our neutral support. That's why you don't take a trade, because we know in the neutral zone the RSI can reverse up on you, form a double top against you for 200 points or whatever. So just wait. There, you're so close to the news now, just hang on.
The question I have on Disney, or neutral Disney as well, is do they have the right strategy, right? They went from a super fan strategy to trying to be a Netflix-like, global dominant platform. And I think that's the wrong strategy, right? I think they should pull it back to just be a smaller service with higher pricing, catering to their fans, not move into other verticals, in terms of content verticals. That's not the path they're on. They also had a great 2020 because of the pandemic. They raised guidance, and I wonder, was that a mistake? We've been holding off because we think they have to basically come back and revisit their strategy.
Michael, just in terms of this ad-based model that Netflix is going to push out now, how long do you think this would take to actually give us some growth, give us some results, because the numbers I'm seeing, a lot of people are saying 2 years. Got to wait 2 years for something like that to generate the results we need to see.
Yeah, well, the big question for me to start is what's the price point, right? Like they've sold in 70 million U.S. homes at $15. You know, that's a great business model. You know, it's without the growth, right? The question is, what do you do, John, to get people to take advertising? How much do you cut the price? And they've been raising price forever. So all of a sudden you become ad dependent, more cyclical. You compete with people who are in the business. You have to add sales force. You have to change the content offering. Like it's
Look at that drop.
For a Netflix fan to have advertising, right?
No one was buying Netflix shares at the top. You don't even want to be buying them now. You need to be waiting till this has dropped to the bottom of the ocean.
The product that we signed up for. So that to me last night, the comment.
Seriously though, who's going to want to subscribe to Netflix and have adverts during your film or series every like 5 minutes? Oh my god, end up smashing your TV.
It was kind of a strange way to admit.
But yeah,
Michael,
there you go.
We've had a lot of other people on the street, and not to rip into the analyst community too much, it's embarrassing for them already, where they've had to cut their price targets. But the most bearish note I've seen came from the company itself in a shareholder letter. I think that was the most bearish note from everybody. 4 factors as to why they're struggling. The first factor, increasingly clear, the pace of growth into our underlying addressable market is partly dependent on factors we don't directly control. I mean, Michael, right there is a growth company saying we've gone X growth. So for an analyst now, what kind of multiple do you have to put on a growth company that's gone X growth?
Well, John, you know me well, and we looked at cash flow and earnings, right? And I had a problem in 2020 because I couldn't go to some of the parts, revenue multiples, DCFs and 20-year DCFs. Like, you have to look at earnings and cash flow. That's a shock, right? Earnings and cash flow. And the problem is on cash flow, it's just not there because the business doesn't generate a lot of cash. Earnings, you know, you're getting closer to maybe seeing a bit of a floor. That's down a third today. But I think you have, as you know, a rotation into value, more GARPing investors, and they look at different metrics. And you have to now, the outlook is so uncertain that I think you have a way to go. And that's kind of our, it's been our view. Now, we were wrong on the way up, but I never changed our way of doing it. We felt like, we were the old men on the street looking at it a certain way. But look, we've seen this before, you and I. And
got 7 minutes to go, everybody. On the existing homes news, I wonder if it'll get reported.
Which is not good for a company. It's a growth stock.
This is really, really important. Do you think the street is getting there? You mentioned it just briefly. But do we get away from the obsession with subs on the next quarter?
It has. Told you it's heading down to that heavy support zone.
Those downgrades.
RSI is now 9. Again, dangerous to sell. I mean, I'm sure people will. You can still grab this between here and here, but I reckon it's going to bounce. We've got a big blue zone here of support and heavy support around. So this is a whole, this whole zone where we could get some, not necessarily reversal, but it'll range, bounce up, bounce down, scare you a little bit.
Just on the broader industry and the price of content, loads of this company and traditional media companies as well. This will be treated almost exclusively today by the media and to some extent the South Side too and the investor community as an equity issue, an equity problem. Is there a debt problem here too?
Only if you think we're going into a recession, right? If you think that we're heading into a 2 or 3 quarter recession where advertising gets cut, don't forget, like the guys who are transitioning are using the stable business of linear to fund streaming. But if you think linear becomes unstable because of a recession, that would scare me on the debt side. Today, not a problem. But if you think, hey, Michael, we're a quarter or two away from having real troubles on advertising, that's going to be a problem for the debt.
Michael, you've been skeptical for a long, long time, and I know that was painful at times watching this stock surge, but it's paid off eventually in a massive way. Michael Nathanson, thank you, sir. From the team at Moffett Nathanson, the final word from here. The question is whether the company has gotten cheap enough for new buyers to step in. Mr. Nathanson, Michael Nathanson, saying we would argue not yet. That stock is down by 34% to 230. Negative in a big, big way. Up next on the program, we'll get to the trading diary from New York City this morning. Good morning. This is Bloomberg.
Here we go. Right, so that's going to go to an advert break. We're going to focus on this news. 5 minutes to go. Listing homes. See what we can get. So this is all bonus house money since we've had a good day today. We're set up, yeah. Like I say, for me, it would be nice if it's actually worse than expected, because that's going to continue this pullback. And look at that, exactly what I said. You see that price action would bounce, stay on our neutral support, and range around a little bit. Again, I've seen this multiple times. You see, you suddenly go grey, and then you think, yes, it's a definite sell. It's going to go red, and you wonder why. And you see these levels here. You've got a trend line. We've got a blue support zone. We've got the daily pivot zone. There's everything telling us wait. You know, look, you had all this here. The historical. Well, if you zoom back enough, you know, it's gotta wait for the red, wait for the RSI to come out the neutral zone, and wait for price action to break the trend line, then take the scalp down to that next level. So this is, again, not indicative of direction. I'm not trying to tell anybody where it's going to go because I don't know. Existing news is what we're printing.
Minutes into the session, this stock is down hard. We are negative almost 35% and shaving more than $50 billion off the market cap of Netflix. Netflix down hard. The equity market hanging in there just about on the S&P 500, positive by just 0.02%. And now the pain starts to come through on the Nasdaq 100, negative 8, almost 9/10 of 1%. That's the price action. Here's the trading diary. President Biden meeting with the Secretary of Defense and Joint Chiefs of Staff. 4 p.m. Eastern. Tesla and United Airlines reporting after the closing bell. Powell and Lagarde speaking on Thursday. That's one to watch. And finally, another round of initial jobless claims and some PMIs from Europe going into the weekend. From New York City for our audience worldwide, thank you for choosing Bloomberg TV. This was the countdown to the open. This
2 minutes to go.
is Bloomberg.
Good luck, everybody. See if we get a move. Logged in, yeah. Oh. 500, a bear break on US 500. Just we approach that news. Look at that. Go, going down. Again, I'm not jumping in because again this could be affected by the housing news. Again, I'm not going to that signal usually will. We'll just wait until this news comes out. In case it's severely better than expected. Because I mean, it shouldn't do. This is to do with Netflix again, but you never know. So just watch out. RSI is 19. Got 1 minute to go. The countdown now. Clicking on US 30. We're all loaded. Still think this is going to break and come down, but this news, you know, we don't know what it's going to be. Biden's.
There's an incoming revolution on the high seas that isn't quite as sexy, but could be significantly more impactful.
Container shipping is the key component of global trade. About 80 or 90% of all the world's goods are transported at sea at some point.
But there's a significant unseen cost to the modern era of global commerce.
About 3% of all the world's CO2 emissions come from shipping.
3% may not sound like a lot, but that's roughly comparable to the entire CO2 output of Germany. Since reducing trade isn't a likely option, what about a technological improvement to help reduce the emissions from these well-stocked maritime behemoths?
20 seconds.
Access the financial world on demand.
Let's see what we get. Love it. Not knowing. You know, you wish you did know, but also not knowing is kind of cool. You know what I mean? Well, that's what I like. See what the result is, see what the move is. Again, it shouldn't be too crazy. It's not going to be a quick move. So, worse than expected on both those results. So let's have a look and see if RSI decides to push down. Not entering a trade yet, obviously, like I say. This is a manipulation and it pushes up instead. Use is worse than expected. Up. Down. Wait and see. We're in that neutral zone, so we're in a holding zone. Print that result so everyone can see. It could be a no trade. It was 2.7 up minus and 577, so
has probably gone down in history as one of the biggest
worse.
disasters in history, mainly because of a human error that led AMSI to print more winning hands than they planned. The resulting chaos caused riots.
Up is it going to be a reversal? Buy, sell. Let's have a look. Wait, and I set a nice support. You see, in case of no trade. Wait and see. At the zone. So I'd read it. Alright, so still neutral. So again, no trade yet. Hasn't really done anything. And if it did something on the 500 look, was it up and down? Yeah, it's dropping. 500's the one way it's going to sell if it breaks. Click on this 13. See, because there's no direct. I like it when it's in the neutral zone because there will be a direction. There will be a push up, down. Bring over my button. Expected to be a sell as the news was worse than expected. And with all the Netflix news, yeah, this is a decent support as you can see. Look, it's right on it. But you got a bear break on 500. Look, there's the break on US 30. Look, it's decided to try and move now. See if it's going to break our support level. Go, and you've got that 100. Well, signal. That neutral zone. It wants to break. It wants to push. So we'll just hold and see if we can get a sell, and then we'll end the stream with a nice final win, hopefully. Okay, sometimes these ones you don't always trade them because it just doesn't break a level, so there's no point in risking it. It's still in 47, still not doing anything yet. So again, we'll just wait. We'll wait. Like I say, we'll take the sell if it breaks this trend line, goes green and pushes up. We'll take a buy. But the US 500. That's a nice sell. Come down, and you just want to be looking 10 points on that. Pips, and that's got it. You see. NAS also is on the heavy support now. Is it going to break this and be a continuation? And you can maybe get 100 dropping down to this. Back on the 30, reversing up. It's not really doing anything, just sat. Goes to the daily pivot and decent local support and a trend line. So that's why we're seeing this price action. So wait. Again, the result was worse than expected. Say it doesn't matter. Any economic news comes out. If price is sat on a support, want to be waiting. Now it wants to buy. Look again. You see. Range around a little bit, so we'll just wait. RSI didn't really go red, it flashed red, didn't finish outside. You want to see it for the first. See if this pushes down. All the news it wants to. RSI 54. Again, just ranging around, like I say, no trades at the moment on this, buys or sells. We want to wait for a break above or below. There hasn't been a real correction from that bull run yet, so I suspect we're still going to get something down to here. We'll wait and see. Good. News, is it 500? Now we've got a blue zone form, so that means if you were in a sell, if you did take that bear signal, then obviously just down 9 points, and that's it, job done. It's gone for 10 pips on that, and then up off that support. Nas almost doing the same look again, looking for buys now, just corrections again, wait for it to break this zone, catch a buy before it continues on its downward slide, possibly. That's what I would say. You're on heavy support, as I said it would get down to that heavy support. Ranging around a little bit. Let's get anything stupid. Wait. Now back in the neutral zone. So to me, you see, it's what you get. It's why we have the neutral zone, because price action can go either way. That's why we like it. Down anymore. Get back to that 50 level. RSI 58 green. So we've got the oil news up in 13 minutes, so we might have a quick look at that anyway. While we're still streaming and still seeing if we can get a trade on that existing homes news. Looks like there wasn't. Again, sometimes that happens. The results were pretty close, but it was still worse than expected. You know, you'd expect a drop. There really wasn't anything because of this sat on all this support. So again, gotta hang fire and not take a trade. Not worth risking anything, you know, simple as. Again, you should have only taken the trade if the candle finished below. Then you're coming down to the next level. As you can see, it just sat nicely on this on this support. RSI 59 back in the green, but again, the average is, you know, to be a buy, you want to be above this 67 ideally. There's nothing on existing home sales. It's going to bounce against here and drop down. So we'll just wait 10 minutes on the oil news. Get oil up. There was the bounce on NASDAQ. Beautiful. The oil. Go. Oh, there's been some nice signals. Nice bear signal, bull signal, bear look again. It's set on supports. This is good. RSI is low at 16, so we're looking at a buy back. If the news is better than expected and we get a push up. Push back. Already had a major correction, so this could be a double top and then back down again. Who knows? Size 60 now. Again, you could have got a nice cheeky buy. I don't know why I didn't actually. I started looking at it. I just didn't enter a trade, but I should have got a buy up, at least up until our baseline. You know, if it pushes back on our baseline or breaks it, you know what I mean, then comes down again. Zone. But this daily pivot is always hard to break. Came here, look, it range. Finally broke. Bit of momentum. The open, what broke it. Before then, it was quite happy along underneath it. This is what happens. See this all the time. I will see if this carries on back up to a double top for dropping. Not seeing any kind of, seen a massive big range push up on the open. But are we going to see? There's plenty of opportunities for buys here. Look, these are where I would have taken all the buys on this day. That. that. Open. Did we got the other trades I would have gone in on, and then like I say, I just missed that one. We should have gone back in on a buy on here, ideally. They're the trades you could have taken, all buys on US30. See now whether we're going to get this continuation. It's broken our level up to do a double top, or whether we're going to get a drop back down again. So to see. Size 66. Look, you see, would have taken, and now we're not in any positions at the moment, so now we're just going to oil. 6 minutes to go. Gas one, but again, I'm not trading gas. Bigger account, bigger 3,000. Trade that to cover the drawdown, and so oil. There's a consensus. Again, we just go with the direction. I think if you're trading the US dollar against this, you go in the reverse. Higher figures negative, and lower figures higher. But with WTI, most of the time, like I say, not always, but most of the time, it goes with, if the news is good, it's a buy, news sell. I'm going to go in for 10 pips. Go in for too crazy. Just look on there. Do this last final trade. That should be our final trade of the day. Being well. Next market. So it was quite a decent support zone there. Again, it's pulled back now. The RSI, look, as I said, hit our average line. It likes to do this, treat it as a support and resistance zone. That's pulled back a little bit. And back down to the neutral zone. Okay, let's see. Like I say, our focus is on the oil. Got 5 minutes to go. Com is reporting. That leads Wall Street higher as yields retreat. Saw a nice sell on NAS, obviously that was the opposite. It's always good to see. reporting NAS goes higher. Obviously we sold NAS. And the RSI at 63. Starting to drop a little bit. Crypto. A lot of green for once, that's a good sign. Zilliqa, I like Zilliqa, it's back up. Sol, Solana. That's good. Dino's up 2%. Back US 30. And just sat. Yeah, now our baseline is set as a support line. RSI's got a break really. So see if we're going to get some red. I'm sure that you can see how long there hasn't been any kind of major red since an hour into London session. And it's all been going to be interesting. 500 again, as we said, quite nicely out of that support zone. This is the kind of pattern I want to see on the US 30 that hasn't happened yet, and the 500's led the way. Nice bull run all morning, in the afternoon, then here's the correction, drop, and here's the W pattern being formed, M double top and then the W, looking for an SP 500. For that, yeah, MSGWs. That's what I think might be happening on US 30, but slower pace, obviously. Size 62, so still a way to go yet. Our final trade of the session is going to be oil. Nice little spike there. Zooming on it. See if we can get something on this. Oil, you need usually about 500. There's free margin to trade it, so on a 5 lot, well, you can go 0.5 if you're starting out with. If you go 0.5, then you're looking at £40. So you can start trading oil with a small account, maybe a $200, $250. But there is a bigger spread. You have to watch out for that. You've got to be prepared to hold a little bit longer on it. So we'll see if we get anything on oil or not. Seconds. Here we go, everybody. See what it all does. Up, yep. What can be the gas drop, big drop, pushing, it's ranging, been crazy at the moment. Sharp, that for a spike. The oil news look. Through the roof. In and we're out. Yeah. A nice buy. We've got $45.99 on that. There we go. So about $60. There you go. That's your EA news. Brilliant. Actually, I got in just watching the RSI again rather than waiting for the news result, which was a bit lagging. So that was a nice win. Finish our stream off. post that result into our group. It's our Discord group. If you want to join it, go to www.mohawkforex.com. All the information how to join our VIP Discord, where you get all the setups, results, chat, and everything, and mentorship, and the Axe trading system that I've got on the chart here. Look at that, that's beautiful. And again, yeah, there you go, better than expected. So as we said, better than expected, 9 times out of 10 it's a buy, and the news was better, hence the buy. So sometimes it's easy. You know, it can be stressful, but sometimes you know you can do it. So there you go, there's the IA news. That might pull back now, it doesn't matter. I've got in, got some green, got like whatever, 10 pips, whatever it was, and job done. So that was on a small, you know, I'd say usually I don't really trade it with a small account or 3,000 account, but we just got away with that. It's pretty good. So there we go. We'll leave you with US 30 just ranging away, see what's going to happen on this. This Holmes news is really, I'm going to get rid of that because I like really do anything. But there was nothing on there at all. There you go, that's the end of the trading day for us. You've got the speeches to watch out for later on if you want to check out those that are happening now. And then tomorrow, obviously, we've got our favourite, the continuing. Remember, we go with the continuing job losses, one that we trade. Not so fussed about the initial and the claims 4-week average. It's the continuing that's the figure that moves the market. That'll be our focus tomorrow. So yeah, we'll leave you with US 30 and see what happens with that in a bit, if you're going to get any sells. But again, it's been a successful day. It's about 40 odd trades with just 3 losers, so well happy with that. Getting over 22% return on investment. Again, if you want to learn how to true scalp, go to the website www.mohawkforex.com, and if you like what we do, obviously hit that like button and share the videos, the streams, which is plenty of them. But yeah, thanks for joining me again, and trade safe, and catch you all on the next live stream. Till then, take care.